You try to be smart, you lose. You try to be smart again, you lose. You try to be smart a third time, and you lose again. And before you realize it, goes by, and you are always back at zero. That's what happens when you try to be a genius instead of simply avoiding stupid mistakes. So, let me ask you today's question. What is making you poorer without you even realizing it? Welcome, friends. I'm Fred. Here we talk about business investments, real life, and training, all from my personal perspective. And what I want to talk about today is one of the most common mistakes I see people making, especially in investments. There is a famous idea from Charlie Munger that I strongly agree with. To do well in investing, you don't need to be a genius. You just need to be someone who avoid doing stupid things. And that's it. This applies to everything: stocks, real estate, funds, businesses. The problem is that most people don't want to hear this. They want something smarter, faster, more exciting. And that's where the trouble starts. Let me give you a real example from my own life. Back in 2005, I built a warehouse here in Brazil. So we are talking about something that's almost 20 years old, actually going to 21 years old. When you work with real estate construction, most people build to sell. Very few people build to rent. Building to rent is a hybrid, half business, half investment. Most investors want to buy something ready and rent it. They don't want to deal with construction. In my case, I built to rent. Selling was always an option, but it wasn't the initial goal. On paper, selling looks smarter. Let's say you spend 100 to build a property, 100 of a hypothetical kind of money. Let's say $100,000, for example. If you sell it, you might sell it for 200. You double your money. If you rent, maybe you rent it for 2 instead of 200 per month. That looks slow, almost boring. So people say, selling is smarter. But here's the question nobody asks. What are you going to do after you sell? If you sell immediately, you must be extremely methodical. You need clear rules. Because if you don't, you just trading assets without actually progressing. You sell a good property and buy something worse. Or even worse, you trade for something worse. A piece of land you can't sell. A farm that looks beautiful, but it's illiquid. An apartment in a bad location. And suddenly, you are stuck. That warehouse I built in 2005, in almost 20 years, only about 4 tenants passed through it. Maintenance? Minimal. If you divide the maintenance cost across 20 years, it's almost nothing. The building is still there, solid, functional. I never sold it. And honestly, today, I wouldn't sell it either. Great location, always rented. Now, here's the part people forget. usually forget. The property didn't just generate the rent, its value increased massively. Something that cost 100 back then is worth at least 1500 today. At least. And during all those years, it also paid rent. So, now ask yourself, was it better to sell early and be smart, or to stay put and let time do the work? There is something very important here. Sometimes, not selling is a way of protecting yourself, from your own greed, your own impatience, your own bad decisions. By holding the asset, you prevent yourself from doing something stupid with the money. And this matters a lot. Now, I'll be honest, my perspective might be different because this became my profession. I learned how to choose good land, build intelligently, control costs, focus on commercial real estate. I don't recommend anyone entering real estate irresponsibly. It's not easy. It's not safe by default. It requires experience. What really worries me is the amount of irresponsible content online. People selling courses on how to get rich with real estate using debt. Here is a simple question. If it's so easy, why are they selling courses instead of getting rich that way? The knowledge I have about real estate took me more than 20 years to build. It's valuable, but it's not simple. It involves risk. And you can't manage someone else's risk for them through a course. So, let's answer today's question. What's making you poorer without you realizing it? It's the myth of easy money. High interest promises from small banks, cheap properties without documentation, guaranteed returns. It's all the same thing. Greed. You are trying to be too smart. When you take responsible actions over many years, something powerful happens. Value stacks slowly, quietly. You don't feel rich quickly, but you become solid. That's real wealth. That's how real wealth is built. Many people say real estate is outdated, that stocks, ETFs, or funds are smarter. In my case, real estate proved to be extremely intelligent. Not because it made me rich fast, but because it protected me from myself, kept me disciplined, kept me on track. In the future, could I immigrate to ETFs? Yes, when I'm older. I might not want to deal with maintenance. That can be a smart strategy. But so far, commercial real estate, done properly, has been excellent for me. So, here is the message. Don't look for miracles, for shortcuts, for things that sound too good. Look for what is real, boring, and responsible. That's how you avoid getting poorer without realizing it. Tell me in the comments what you think about this. Thank you to everyone who is following the channel. I really appreciate it. And I see you in the next video.